because we should talk about some games. We should talk about some picks. This is going to be brought to you by the Degenerate Report at Bad News Media. If you don't know what it is, I'm going to tell you here.
Sponsors, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, the Degenerate Report is something I put out weekly. It is a 6-pack of my best picks. It is on badnewsmedia.com. We tweet it out through the Bad News Media Twitter account as well. It's my 6 best picks. Why am I telling this to you? Because unlike the other jabronis on the internet here, I do not sell these. These are all free. All we ask back from you is your love and support. Tell your friend, tell your mother, tell your father, tell your friend's mom and their dad, tell your grandmother. They'll love the show. Like, subscribe, share it on, pass the message. My picks.
Unsubscribe, resubscribe.
Yeah, rate us. Let everybody know. Spread the word. Get on the Trophy Kid movement.
And review.
Last week I went 6-0. Last 2 weeks I went 5-11. Right now in the year I'm 70% in those games. It's getting better. We're going to continue to work on it. But hop on the movement before the train takes off. We love to have you. We love the support we're getting. And let's get into some picks now.
Hang on, real quick though, Nate. I love you. It's getting better from 70%. That doesn't happen to gamblers.
We'll see. We'll see. I'm putting in the hours, Tim. I'm putting in the hours.
For entertainment purposes only. That's what my lawyer is saying.
Yeah. Well, I have yet to have a losing week, which is good. Maybe I'll cut out the getting better part. But I'm at 70% right now. I'm 21-9. So just keep that in mind. Get with the movement. Now let's get to some games. Friday night game, because I have it in my card. I have it in my picks. Actually, yeah, let's talk about it. BYU Houston. If you aren't familiar with BYU, get familiar on this Friday. This team is playing some good football. Zach Wilson, if he was on any powerhouse team in the nation, we'd be talking about him for Heisman. He might even be leading the conversation. The kid is slinging it. He's thrown for 1,200 yards already, 8 touchdowns, 1 interception, has the 9th best QBR right now. This BYU team, they're averaging 43.8 points a game right now. They are flying under the radar. The line right now, I have BYU is -5, over-unders at 63. Anybody else got an opinion on this game?
I mean, I just looked at the spread on this game, and I love BYU -5. I would have expected this to be a much larger spread, but apparently not.
Yeah, I was surprised. I jumped it opened at 4. I jumped on so many lines the day it opened. I got it at 4.5. I still like it at 5. Houston's a good team. Like I think the over is a really potential pick there too. I'm not putting it as part of my card right now, but if you're looking for an over/under, I would take the over on this because Houston's going to put up some points. They've only played one game, but they put up 49 on Tulane. They gave up 31, which isn't great, but that's a Dana Holgorsen team. Like that's what they are. They're high offense, low defense. And when you have BYU, who's high offense and a decent defense, they're not some powerhouse, but I trust them to make a crucial stop here, or stops, in what will most likely probably be a shootout. I love BYU -5 at that number.
I love it too.
That's a Friday night game. So if you're not familiar,
You also need to tune into SMU Tulane. I mean, that's going to be a good game as well. SMU has Shane Buechele. He's been playing lights out this year, and Tulane's nothing to sneeze at either. I mean,
I'm not watching that. I'm not watching SMU Tulane.
I will be getting some eyes on it because I need to get some eyes on SMU. They're number 17. I have not seen them play yet. But that'll it's now on my radar because Tim mentioned it in the pre-show.
Yeah, I love you, Tim, but I'm not watching this game.
Okay, suit yourself.
I will be watching it. All right. I don't know. Here's the problem with some of these. We're going to talk about them. I don't know if all these games are going to end up happening because who knows in COVID. So
yeah.
I'm not really going to talk about Georgia, Alabama, even though that's the big game of the week. I guess we could talk about it in case it does happen. Right now it's going to happen as planned. But
Nick Saban.
From a picking perspective, I'm going to tweet this pick out on Saturday because I don't want to put in a lock now, a pick, and then on like Saturday morning it be announced Mac Jones has COVID and isn't playing or something. So if you're going to put a bet in on this game, wait to see if it. But
so officially Cincinnati, Tulsa, LSU, Florida, Oklahoma State, Baylor, and Vanderbilt, Missouri are all postponed as of this recording.
Okay. That's good because I didn't think Georgia and Alabama have been called off yet or anything. Nick Saban's the only one right now, which I know Nick Saban's going to be out, but like Alabama is such a system. The coaches are all in a rhythm. I don't know how huge of an impact it's going to have. The line's at 4 right now. Alabama's favored 4.5. Over-under's at 56.5. How are we feeling about this game? Where are we at here?
They still got Steve Sarkisian. I mean,
Yep.
The only thing I'm really looking at this game is I think college football is in a weird place this year, and I have not seen a lot of defense, even from the great defenses. I still don't see that much defense, so I'm going the over here.
Interesting.
I'm going the over at 56.5 because I thought the same thing with the Georgia-Tennessee game last week, and then Georgia hit the over by themselves.
Yeah, but their defense fucking stuffed Tennessee.
Georgia hit the over by themselves.
Oh, I know, but that's because I think Tennessee isn't Alabama. I feel like Alabama, Alabama's always good for like a game where Ole Miss just like has a shootout or something like that during the season. But I feel like the defense is gonna be better here. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know if I love.
We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know if I love Georgia's offense though. Like
I don't like Georgia's offense.
Like I watched that game. That defense is so good. That is a stout defense. Might be the best in the country. Probably. Clemson's might be. Either way, it's 1 or 2 right now. I'm not counting the Big Ten yet in the conversation because I want to see them play, but I'm sure Ohio State or something will be in the conversation there. But right now, I'd say Georgia, Clemson is probably the 2 best defenses right now. That defense is stout, so I think it's probably going to keep them in the game. But I don't know, dude. I don't know if I trust that Georgia offense.
Yeah, I'm with you. I would love to be like, oh, yeah, Georgia is going to go ahead and win this game, but I don't know if they can score enough points to do it.
Yeah, that's my concern.
They could get the stops. They could definitely get the stops, but I don't know if they can score.
I don't hate the over is 56, so I'd rather, if you're going to take an over-under, I'm with you, Tim. I would rather die on the over than die on the under. But I prefer Alabama 4.5. So if everybody is in the game as they're supposed to be, you don't make a lot of money betting against Alabama. I like Alabama minus 4.5.
You heard it here.
It's not one of my degenerate report picks. I'll tweet it out on Saturday, so it'll be on the card. But we'll see. I want to make sure everybody is COVID-free before I lock in that. Clemson, Georgia Tech. Lions 27. Over-unders 64. I don't know if I like this game line. I do, however, like the first quarter. I'm a big first quarter, first half guy. I love them. Yeah. There is nothing more exhilarating than the last 2 weeks betting fucking first half Clemson against, who was it? It wasn't Miami. Whoever they played 2 weeks ago. And Notre Dame last week, which I should have had both. We'll hold that for the Notre Dame game. First quarter 7, first half 14.5. I love Clemson 14.5. I don't know if I like the 27 number because Clemson is famous for pulling its players early as soon as they get up big.
Mm-hmm.
I don't love it. Where are you all at here?
I don't like anything about this game. I think the odds makers nailed everything in this game. They nailed everything to where I don't want to touch either of them. Like I don't want to touch the over under. It's at 64. I could totally see Clemson coming out, putting up 42 points, Georgia Tech putting up 14 points.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it sits.
Yeah.
And like Clemson just pulls everybody and then you got nothing after that. So I don't like the over. I never like the under with Clemson because you never know with them. They could just take the top off again for 50 plus. And then I do see it being a 27-point game. So, I mean, I got really nothing on this.
I mean, if you're asking me, Clemson will win. That's what my
Thanks, Dante.
Money line's safe.
Been a great help.
Just in case you didn't know, that money line is minus 3,500. So yeah, I feel like that's a good. You know what? That's a pick. That's a great pick. I like it. Notre Dame, Louisville. The line right now is, I jumped on this super early when it first opened. It has moved to, where is it at right now? Because I know it's moved from where I initially got it out. 17. Line 17, Notre Dame minus 17, obviously, over under 62. I jumped on it. It was at 15.5 when I got it. I still love it here. Notre Dame is a good football team this year.
Mhm.
They are. This might be the best Notre Dame team we have seen in quite some time. I don't know if they're going to really compete. I'll see where they're at when we get to Clemson, but the offense is rolling. This is a high-powered offense. They're getting going early. They're averaging, what was it? Yeah, 40 points a game, I think. Yeah, 40 points a game. They're super balanced. I mean, we're talking 204 through the air, 270 rushing. The defense is stout. They're only allowing 13 points a game. Yeah, they had some vulnerabilities last week against Florida State, but they hadn't played in a little while. I expect them to kind of clean up the defensive effort there. So I love them at 17.5. I like them even more at their first half number of 9.5. I think that is looking pretty at 9.5. But yeah, I love 17.5. It might be my lock of the week. I haven't determined my lock of the week. I'm 2-0 in lock of the weeks, by the way. I don't know if you knew that. Just no big deal. If I lock it, it's hot. If I put a lock on it, you know it's hot.
I mean,
where are we at?
Don't you kind of feel bad for Louisville because they got to play Notre Dame. They play Clemson, right?
Oh yeah,
so they've played the best teams.
Have they played Clemson? They played Miami.
Oh, wait.
Miami.
Play Miami.
Yeah.
They played the best team, and like this is terrible for them.
They played, two of the three best teams in the ACC.
They played two of the best.
I mean, it sucks, but at least I don't know if I'd rather
Pittsburgh.
What? Yeah, they played Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Don't remind me. That was the dumbest. That might have been dumber than the Texas game. That was a bad game.
Yeah, that was a bad game. Cunningham, I believe, is banged up too. I mean, I think he's still, obviously, we saw him go down in the Pitt game. I think he's still got some injuries nagging him there. I don't know about you guys, but like I said, I love Notre Dame here.
I do like Notre Dame minus 17. This was one of my picks as well.
Yeah.
I don't really have much more to expand on it than what you covered, Nate. So
that's all right. We don't have a ton of like big time games outside of Alabama, Georgia, as far as ranked going against ranked. But another game, I think, before we get into our cards, where I guess we can talk about more of our picks. Miami, Pittsburgh. Do we think Miami bounces back here? The line 13.5,
so.
Under over is 47.5.
I think they bounce back, but I don't know if they cover.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm sitting on this one.
I think they bounce back.
Win. I do think Pittsburgh will put up a little bit more of a fight on defense.
Yeah, Pittsburgh is sneaky. Going back to that Louisville Pittsburgh game, I think Pittsburgh will score on Miami quite a few times. I wouldn't be surprised if this game is very close.
So I initially was like, oh, Pittsburgh. See, I've been super high on Pittsburgh, but the BC game was I should have seen that coming. That was a letdown for me. But I'm pretty sure their quarterback is out for this. Pickett?
Pittsburgh?
Yeah, maybe not. He's banged up, so he's not 100%, but he's still in that. I think Miami bounces back here. I like them at the 13.5 because I think they know, as well as everybody else knows, they've got to get going if they want, because they're not completely out of it. Losing to Clemson, even though they got the absolute shit kicked out of them, which I said they would. I think everybody agreed with that. They're still not, like, they can still bounce back from that. Like, nobody, if they rip it off and go undefeated here, because they play on opposite sides of the ACC, I believe. I might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure they play on different sides of the ACC. So they could still find them in the ACC championship and still be in the race to make a playoff bid. Like, if your only loss is to Clemson, you play them in the ACC championship and you beat them, which I don't think they're going to do, but if they do, like, they still got a shot. So their season's not lost, so I think they're going to come out here and ball out. Like, King's going to get his swagger back, and they're going to get going again.
Are Clemson and Notre Dame on the same side?
I don't know. I'm trying to think. I know
they play each other.
The ACC might be doing, like, the two best teams. Do they do the two best teams?
I don't know anything about the ACC.
This is a Big Ten conference
podcast.
Come on, let's learn it. Let's get it through our heads.
Leaders
nothing about how
and legends.
The actual divisions work in any other conference.
I know they have divisions. There's the Atlantic and the Coastal, but I don't know if they're doing that this year. Is my problem? I feel like they're not, but I could be 100% wrong on that. I don't know. This is Well,
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think so because I went to standings. It's all one, so they don't have it broken out. So I think it is just kind of a hodgepodge of what you got. It's a decent division. I've been sleeping. The team I've been sleeping on is UNC, which is part of my picks. So I'll just go into my card at this point, and we can talk the games through. We've already talked about some of them. So I've obviously got BYU -5, got Clemson first half 14.5. I like that number. I'm big there. Miami 13.5. I think they come back big. NC State Duke. NC State, they're playing pretty good football. I like them at 4.5. Duke is a terrible football team. They are a garbage football team this year. Are we in disagreement there?
I think you've said that every podcast.
I love picking the Duke game. I love NC State.
And you hate Duke, I know.
Yeah, I hate Duke right now. One game we did not talk about, Texas A&M, Mississippi State. Over-unders at 54.5. The line is at, I think it's moved
5.5.
a little bit. 5.
So, just so we're clear, the title game of the ACC will be between the two teams with the highest win percentage.
Okay, perfect. Yeah,
Okay.
I knew I was pulling that somewhere from the back of my brain. Somewhere it was like my football sense was tingling, like they're doing something
Which
different
means
this year.
that Notre Dame could be ACC champ, which would
Yeah.
be weird, right?
That would be weird. I
Very
think at that
weird.
point they just have to suck it up and be in the ACC forever. They can never leave. Those are the rules. Texas A&M, Mississippi State. I love the over here because Texas A&M secondary sucks, and Mississippi State can sling the ball. I think they get back. I think they get back to having somewhat of a competent offense. Like LSU. LSU's a bad football team. So I think we all bit on that, like, oh, maybe Mississippi State's got something. And then that has looked like an utter train wreck. But because Texas A&M's defense is so bad, especially in the secondary, I think they put up some points, and I like the 54 number. I don't know about the spread. I assume Texas A&M is going to be big here, but it could also be a letdown spot because they had a huge – like college is big on the letdown spots. Like emotions play really high into this, and I'd be a little bit nervous. Yeah, and COVID. But I like the over at 54.5. I don't know about you guys, but that's on my card.
I mean, I don't like the over here because I don't know what you're going to get out of Mississippi State.
I think it's a similar performance to LSU. Like I think those secondaries.
LSU, they tried to give away that game so many times.
Well, I know that, but I'm talking about
Costello
points.
had 700 yards, but like if LSU like actually jumps her out or actually catches the ball on defense, like they're not able to score as much as they did. So,
yeah,
I like the spread here more. I like A&M -5.5 more than the spread or more than the over.
All right, fair enough.
I wouldn't go under on this game.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm definitely
You
not
can't
dying
ever go
under.
under on a Mike Leach game, but the way he's been coaching this year, I don't know if I can go with an over either right now.
I'd rather die on the over than die on the under. BC Vatech. I apparently didn't learn my lesson. I did not apply the George Bush rule. I did get fooled twice. It happened. I bit
fooled again.
Yep. I didn't apply that. I couldn't get fooled again. I don't know. I'm going back and forth on this because I do like BC. I don't know. Virginia Tech has so much potential, but it's just like they're the most frustrating team to me because I see the potential there, but they're that team where you can see it, but it isn't happening. Like it just isn't translating. And BC's playing good football. The quarterback's playing good. They're playing decent. I shouldn't say they're playing good football. I think I go BC here plus 12.5.
I didn't touch this game.
And then
this is like that Tulane game. Like I'm not watching it.
that's fair. You don't have to watch it, but I'm going 12. Notre Dame first half 9.5, and then my final pick. I've been sleeping on this team all year. I've been saying they're not as good as they are. I still don't believe they're as good as they are. I think they're a little overrated. But the UNC game. UNC deserves some props because they are playing good football. They're playing Florida State. The line's 14 right now. I'm taking UNC minus 14.5 because Florida State is a bad football team. Mike Novell, I think, is getting, like you saw the offense starting to click against Notre Dame. I think they'll eventually get there, but they're just not there. It's still a dumpster fire. And UNC is playing good football. Not fifth best team in the country, but
Right.
good football.
I'd be a little worried about a letdown spot here, and by letdown spot, I mean making it into a 7-point game rather than covering the 14. So I didn't touch this game either. I'm a little worried about that. I could see Florida State put it together. They looked a lot better than they have all this year. They looked dead before. I mean, they looked atrocious. And then against Notre Dame, they looked like they actually could play some semblance of football.
Yeah, I mean UNC's offense is pretty good. I'm with you, Tim. Like, is Florida State gonna take that momentum into this game? Although on my other hand, like the other thing that's telling me is like, does Florida State also just want to pack up and say we're not gonna do football this year? Because I feel like part of them wants to do that.
They almost did because they were pissed about how they were handling COVID before. That was like a big story. Like the Florida State players boycotted because they weren't taking COVID seriously enough down there. I know. Watch. This is gonna be the one game where I pick UNC and it totally goes against me. But I picked against them and I've lost too much to not give them credit. They're definitely not the fifth best team in the country. Like, I don't know if they're top 10 because we'll see when the Big Ten gets started. I think they're overrated, but they're a good offense. Like, you got to give props to their offense. That's a good offense and it's a good football team.
No, yeah, don't get me wrong. It's just Mac Brown has those weird games where he forgets how to coach. So who knows when that's going to happen? I mean, it could be this time, especially when Florida's getting their legs underneath them. That's just why I'm staying away from this game.
Right.
Not saying UNC doesn't deserve their props because they totally do. They've been playing really well, but who knows?
Do you have any other picks on your card before we wrap this up?
I do, and I can't remember what I've given out so far. So I'm going to go down the list here. I'm going Pittsburgh plus 13.5. Like I said, I do think that they could keep it close. I think Miami's going to be back. I just don't necessarily have confidence in them covering the 13.5. I have Auburn -3 against South Carolina. I have A&M -6 against Mississippi State. I have the over in the Georgia-Bama game. I have Notre Dame -17 against Louisville. And then I also added BYU -5 to Houston.
And that marquee matchup, FIU versus Charlotte, we can't forget about that.
Oh, yeah.
At 8 p.m. on ESPNU. I'll be tuning in.
Any final thoughts before we wrap this up today?
Don't watch SMU Tulane. Just don't do it.
I will be watching it. I need my football fix. I also just need to get eyes because as Tim has hyped them up. Tim has made them appealing to me. I apparently need to get on the SMU train because they're a team that could be my betting future, I guess, or our pick'em future if we like.
Terrible. I do.
It's very possible.
What is your prediction for the worst marquee game? So like another Texas Tech, something like
Kentucky, Tennessee. I didn't even bring them up. Right. I'm so over Kentucky.
You're probably right. That's it.
Ooh.
Kentucky, Tennessee. That's it.
You already said it. That was easy.
That was really easy. Yep. It's going to be so sloppy.
So bad on offense. Sloppy. Yeah. Talk about it.
That was easy.
Yeah. Well, that'll do it for us this week. And as always, peace.
Peace.
Peace.